Good morning, everybody. Nonnie here. I have just completed a 4-day hike from Amicalola Lodge to Neel's Gap, and it was adventuresome. I met 50 to 60 subos and some flip-floppers on the way here. It was encouraging, inspiring, and just delightful. They were informative and excited for their hike to be over. I was able to interview a few people and found them just intrinsically interesting. I can't tell you the number of individuals that I met that actually were crying that their hike was over, and that included men of all ages, and not crying but weeping, tears streaming down their faces while they were talking to me, because while they were ready for their journey to be over, they were sad at the same time. It was a very bittersweet moment for them to be sharing information with me. I learned a lot from them, asking questions and being honored by them allowing me to video them, interview them, talk to them stopping to actually take the time to visit with me when they were kind of on a quest to finish. I can see that my face and my eyes are pretty swollen, and it actually reminds me of the videos I watched of Dixie, and where her face was often swollen, and a couple of other hikers that I followed. And I always wondered, why are their eyes so swollen? Well, they get swollen whenever you hike, and you're a female, I guess. And so I probably don't look my best, but I wanted to share this video with you before I end this journey. I experienced winds up to 50 miles an hour on this hike. Temperatures that got down into the, well, actually the lowest temperature was 20 degrees with winds, torrential downpours, and but also experienced the sun and the beauty that was surrounding me that literally brought me to tears. Some of the information that I'll share with you, I get a little weepy, but I think that the thing to remember is that this is a journey of healing for me, and so when you see me in those weepy moments, it's not because I'm being a crybaby. It's because the experiences that were not optimal that I have lived through, and the wound scars that they have left are being removed and replaced with joy. I finally arrived at Neel Gap at 10:15 one night after hiking over Blood Mountain in the dark, which was an interesting experience. Right next to Neel Gap is Blood Mountain Cabins. I stayed here during my first Shakedown hike, and even before that, my husband and I have stayed here several times. It is not a resort lodge environment. It is a nice warm place for you to be and take a warm hot shower. The manager of the property, her name is Tracy, and she is 5 stars in every way. I'm extremely impressed with her and have been for quite some time. She is so professional and courteous and kind, and you will enjoy working with her for any reservations that you want to make here. This is the store. If your cabins are this direction, and here's a sign right at the store that tells you the directions of the names of the different cabins. I stayed in Squirrel, and I've been in Mountain Lion before. You just simply come here and you can get wood. Every cabin has a fireplace, and that is where you drop your trash. This is the inside of Blood Mountain Cabin's offices where you check in, and these are the foods that they have. They have a coffee station here where you can make a cup of coffee, and they have a microwave. Often she has frozen pizzas here. They've got a selection of ice cream and Crustables. Here are the prices for that. Here's the other things that they carry. They have a place where you can just come and sit and relax, and she has this fire going. Look at this set of moose antlers. Wow. These are kind of primitive cabins. There is nothing 5-star about the environment in these cabins, but they are warm, and the beds are comfortable. The linens are clean. They have a stove, a refrigerator, a microwave. They've got a TV. The internet is, forget it. You're not going to have internet service here for the most part, and you are basically making a cell phone call is iffy. You can go up to the store, the general store, where the office is for the cabins, and get coverage there. But inside the cabins, if you're wanting to download and work on YouTube videos or do communications of any kind, this is not going to be optimal for you. I want to reverse the camera, even though it's in an untidy mess right now. Please forgive me. I will show you what this cabin looks like. This is the kitchen area. It's very basic. You've got your microwave, and I had to stand on top of a chair to get to it. They've got a full-size refrigerator, a stove, and an oven with no handle across the oven, but the oven door does open and the oven does work. This is the outside door going out to the patio. This is the living area. This is a loft cabin. All of these cabins are loft cabins. Continue upstairs. There is a chest of drawers and also I think that's a double bed. It might be a queen bed. And then as you come downstairs, this is a queen size bed. It's very comfortable, and like I said, the linens were clean. Sorry, the bed's not made. Getting back to the cabin, the cabins are never really deep cleaned, so this is sort of a rudimentary place for you to stay. However, it has met my needs perfectly. As I said, I did not get here until 10:15, coming off of Blood Mountain. When you arrive, Tracy, the manager, will have your name on an envelope tacked to the outside of the door, and inside that envelope is the key to the cabin and a map of directing you on how to get where you're going to go. If you are leaving Blood Mountain Cabins after hours, you can simply drop your key in a drop box that they have outside of the store. The cabin is located, and I'm going to put that underneath here. I think it's about 1/10 of a mile. It might be a little bit longer. The next morning, I got up and walked up to the store to get a frozen pizza and have them bake it for me. They actually bake them for you in the store, slice them, and give them to you. They have all kinds of drinks, snacks, every kind of hiker food supply thing that you can imagine there. It's just outstanding. After you have walked up to Mountain Crossing store, if you come over here to the side, they have picnic tables and they have charging stations. They have a water source here, and there's an electronic plug right there for you to be able to recharge. The scenic overlook from this patio is just beautiful.
you're going to come off the AT right here. You're going to cross over this crosswalk, and then you'll be right here at Mountain Crossing store. And this is what it looks like. Here is the famous tree that is shown in every YouTube video from a thru hiker with all of the shoes hanging there. As you come through and want to continue on the AT, if you look right here, there are two double blazes. You actually have to go straight through this opening to continue on the AT. There is a hostel here. It is closed this year for renovation, but it will be open next year. And they have restrooms here. You continue on, and there is no camping in this area. You have to, if you're going to tent camp, it is behind this facility. All right, so you'll come down these doors. It's okay. All right. This is the most fabulous store, whether you're a hiker or not. It has all kinds of gifts and t-shirts, sweatshirts. This is not, you know, hiker fare. This is their sale rack. They always have a sale rack here in the middle of the store. Oh, look at that. Look at that painting. That's pretty awesome. If you're looking for gear, they have a huge selection. Got a good selection of hats in 3 places in the store. This is one. We've already passed another. All kinds of candy. More t-shirts. They have a selection of baseball caps, truckers caps. They have knives. Here's their selection of gloves. There's a ridiculous amount of gloves. It's just, I mean, it's just gloves for miles here. Here's another area where they have hats. Mittens. Over mittens. They've got a huge, I keep using the word huge, but that's what it is. They have a huge selection of buffs, wicking wear, and they carry Patagonia, Mountain Hardwear, Smart Wool. They've got Montville, Sherpa, Big Agnes. They have rain gear. They have your leggings or underlayers. Here are all their sports underwear, Smart Wool sports underwear. Hiking shorts. Then you start getting into the gear. They have hammocks, pillows, sleeping bag liners, trekking poles. Seems like they don't carry Black Diamond. They have the Lucky brand. They've got air mattresses, more Lucky poles. They have day packs and some fanny packs, and they have backpacks that, I mean, I'm going to back way up where you can see this wall. I mean, it doesn't even include all of the backpacks. It's amazing. They've got your thermarest mattresses. They also have lightweight umbrellas. They're very light, they don't weigh anything. And here are the Hyperlight bags. More Hyperlight and ULA. This is the fanny pack that I bought, except in red. And they have dry sacks, stoves, other miscellaneous things, and a huge supply of fuel. Got your Sawyer squeeze and platypus bottles. They've got water purification tablets, Nalgene bottles, toilet paper, and permethrin. They also have sewing kits, replacement buckles, all kinds of repair kits. We've got insect repellent, ponchos, trowels, body glide, foot glide, matchboxes, fire sticks, and then you get over to the food. It's just a great selection of food. Inside here, they have, this is normally fully stocked, but because it's sort of the end of the season, this is what they have inside there. They have all kinds of soda. This is a look at the store from this direction. Gear down that way, food down this way. Gear down in there, shoes over here.
Now, I do want to talk to you about Resupply. I have heard numerous individuals say this store is expensive and to send a resupply box to yourself, which can be sent to this store and they will hold it for you. I did that on my first Shakedown hike, and I found that the cost of sending a box to the location, which was $18, was more than I would have paid for the increase in price per item that I was purchasing. For instance, if a meal is $10.95 at any other, outlet that you think is a reasonable price, it might be $11.95 at the store. I think what you need to do is weigh the difference between the cost of shipping something to yourself and the difference in increased prices. For me, it was not worth doing that. However, I don't regret doing it. It was a good learning experience, and it also was an experience where I learned how to bounce a box. And for those of you that don't know what bouncing a box means, it means this. You send yourself a resupply to a destination, a post office, and when you get to that destination, if you do not need anything that is in that box yet, and you have not opened your package, and your package was sent priority mail, which is in those boxes that you can get in the post office, you have to use those boxes. This is the only way this works. You use the priority mail boxes. You did not open it when you got to that preset destination that you had it sent to. You can actually ask the post office to bounce that box to your next location, and the post office will do that for you, or the location you want it sent to, maybe not your next location, but 3 locations down. They can bounce that box for you for free. It doesn't cost anything to do that. However, taking these things into consideration, the post office isn't always as reliable as it used to be. It could take a little bit longer to get a box from where you are to where you want it to go. So if you're thinking, oh, I don't need this box for 3 or 4 days, I'm just going to bounce it, then your box may not be there in 3 or 4 days, even though it's not very many miles away. You just don't know how long it's going to take the post office to get it there. Take that into consideration. Take into consideration how much you want to pay to have something sent to you versus the cost of the resupply, food that you could purchase where you're going. And this is very important as well. Not every resupply place has good resupply. Neel's Gap happens to have excellent resupply. If you are going somewhere where you want certain kinds of food, you have certain dietary needs, you have clothing that's coming that you've already purchased that you want to be there, then pay the extra money. Pay the money to have the box shipped to you. Otherwise, just consider your options. For me, it wasn't worth sending it the last time, but I didn't feel like it was a waste because it was a learning opportunity for me, and it helped me understand the process better. Also, when you go to mountain crossings, the individuals that work there are exceedingly knowledgeable about gear and equipment. They can answer your questions. They can help you with what you need. They can tell you what will work. They can tell you what doesn't work well. And I can tell you something I learned on this trip, and it was invaluable for me. Never, ever, ever would I go on another hike without having a fanny pack. It was a pain for me to have to, I have, pockets on both sides of my pants and, jacket pockets, to have to pull something out of this pocket, out of that pocket, get into this pocket when you have a full pack on. It was not optimal for me. And in fact, if I had anything that was frustrating about this trip, that was the number one thing that was frustrating. That's not true. I went through 2 things. But this was the only thing that was frustrating. The other one was a hiker that, I'll share with you about in another video. I'm going to show you one of the things I got. So I got to mountain crossings, and I finally found my fanny pack. This is a ULA fanny pack, and it has a little pouch in the front that is sort of thick mesh, thick expandable mesh. It's big enough where it can hold 2 orange juice bottles. It can hold my telephone, my iPod, my driver's license, it can, and this is a water resistant, they say it's waterproof, but it's a water resistant pouch up to submerging. Now, this is going to get wet because this is mesh, but the rest of this is water resistant material. And when you go into the store, they actually don't have the straps attached. And I asked them, I said, well, there's a clip here. How does it attach? And he said, we don't put the belts with them because people feel like, they're free. And sometimes we lose some of those. And I said, oh, okay. Another word for shoplifting, but that was very nice of you to say it that way. Anyway, this cost $39.99 and is probably the best $39.99 I've spent on this. Maybe besides, nope, it's the best $39.99 that I have spent, and I am thrilled to have this. Mountain Crossings is a great resupply store, as I said. It also has a hostel. I want to talk to you about hiker boxes. Man, they're interesting. Hiker boxes are awesome experiences. They have a hiker box inside of the Blood Mountain Cabin office, and they also have a hiker box at Neel's Gap at the Mountain Crossing store. You can find the most interesting things in there. There was a set of trekking poles, a pair of hiking boots, all kinds of clothing, all sorts of food, liquid IV packs, things of baby powder that had not even been opened. I mean, it's a treasure trove. Meals, all kinds of meals that were not eaten. And strangely enough, and I don't know why I'm stuck on this, but there were 2 bras that were in the hiker box at Blood Mountain Cabin, and they were from a healthy woman. And so it was just amusing to me that those were in there, because I thought, this person probably really needed to have this on. So I'm not quite sure why it was donated and put in the hiker box, but I thought that was amusing.